On a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. Today, we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Houston Texans. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Let's go now. Hey.
We'll start the drive here with Pacheco. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A good start. One play, 10 yards. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Set, hut. Yellow, 22. Red, cycle. Hut, hut.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The Texans sitting at 5-2 on the year, and they come in on a good run, winners of 5 of their last 7.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
2 yards to go, 2nd down.
Ready. Red, 38. Hut, hut.
They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. You talk about this Miami defense. Yeah, they come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB. They'd easily move into the top 5.
They'll try for the first with Pacheco. 20. Touchdown, Houston. Isaiah Pacheco with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Texans are on the board first here this afternoon.
We see this a lot on 3rd and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. Looking to put a drive together.
Here we go. Ready.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
Here we go, set. 52 points.
They're going to look to throw. He'll find his rookie wideout from Ohio State here. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
It's a gain of 17 yards. And the Dolphin first down.
Here we go. Here we go. Ready?
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. You look at the defense for these Texans. They enter play here 24th in the league against the run.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 31-yard line.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big third down pickup to keep their drive alive.
On the ground, it's Ollie Gordon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
They go play action here on first down. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
So a good challenge there. The look pretty conclusive. The feet were in, and it's a completed pass. Looking to throw. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Dolphins are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
So
both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent offer a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now, they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
50, green.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
52, ready?
On first and 10, here's Pacheco. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From the 31, here's second down and 8.
Here we go, here we go. Red, 38. Ready?
Now back to throw. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down. We'll see where they go for this play call. Obviously tough in this spot, backed up. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He'll try and do this himself. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a fourth down situation. And he hits the upright, but it caroms in anyway. But plenty of distance there as he banks it in. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And this one over the back line of the end zone. Well, they definitely don't want to give him a shot at returning it. That's obvious. So the ball will come out to the 30. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. 10-6 the score after 1 right here on EA Sports.
Let's go. 45, White.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. That run's successful in large part because they had a lot of extra help blocking up front.
Yeah, you've got guys who can do that very, very well. In addition, they can catch the football. So sometimes when they line up with 3 tight ends, it's not necessarily to run it, and that gives you an advantage when you do decide to barrel off the line of scrimmage and block people downfield.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Set, hut. 33, yellow.
The tight end in motion right.
Hut.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
But don't tell any defensive coordinator I played for, but that might be considered a win for both teams because defensively they stopped them short and forced the 4th down. But offensively, they picked up enough yards to give their kicker a better shot if that's what they want to do.
Ready.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That is caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Tyreek Hill. His 104th career touchdown, one shy of Tim Brown on the all-time list. And the Dolphins take the chance on 4th and goal, and it pays off with 6. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin at the 35-yard line.
At their own 35-yard line.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Set, ready. Yellow, 43. Set.
Headed straight, it's Pacheco. Shifts past him. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. 78 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Here we go. Here we go. Ready?
Toss right side to Pacheco. Oh, great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Here we go, set. 60 red. 60 ready.
On play action, they'll throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Ready, ready, ready.
Pacheco gets it up the gut. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Texans are able to move back in front. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is up to 5. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
At their own 24-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Here we go.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out when they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. That one complete to Hill. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
The Dolphins, first down. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Right.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
2nd and 10.
Early down stuff will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Gets this one to Hill. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 40. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
First down, Miami.
Back to throw now on first down. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Come on, set. 33, yellow. Ready.
Back to the ground now with Gordon. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left.
They've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Let's go now.
He'll look to throw. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
And with a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right, and this will remain a 5-point game. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
On the ready. Slide through. Set. Ready. Set.
They'll set up to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Yeah, the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop them on third down.
Red 38. Ready?
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So the big gain, all for naught for the offense. That yellow flag is going to bring it back.
Oh, what a tough look for the offense because they see all that yardage lost and that ball's walked back and then some behind the original line of scrimmage.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on third and long?
Here we go. Set.
Back to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. The extra point up and good. And it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 28-yard line.
That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
At their own 27-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I established the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's second down and 1.
Block 40. Fight 60. Set, run.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, it was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 38.
22 needle. Cut.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
Okay.
2nd and 16.
Come on, set. 10 black. Set.
They'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. And the Texans are going to get it back here just past the 35. Tough one there. First drive of the 3rd quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be in even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
Now he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Set. Ready. Set.
He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
That is caught by Dell. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That's good for 28 yards.
First down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. 2nd and 8 coming from the 19.
Here we go. Set. Yellow. 20. Ready.
They'll drop to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds.
A gain of 15 yards.
That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
43, ready.
Quick throw complete. 3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
Okay, ready? Set, cut.
He'll try to run this one in. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Taking it in from a yard out. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. The extra point up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game.
Dolphins 12.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. He takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. And going deep for Hill. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
They'll set up a throw. They'll let this go deep for Waddle. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Come on, set.
At the 17-yard line.
Set.
They'll start out here with the option left. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
5-yard line.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal.
Down. Set.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
Point after, right down the middle. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And the returner down to a knee. This will come out to the 35-yard line.
35-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for him for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get him next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Right. Check. Set. Ready.
They run it with Pacheco from the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Tyrell Dodson, the one to bring him down. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Here we go. Ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. So they hit pay dirt, but don't count it yet. There's laundry on the field. We'll see what the penalty flag is about. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Ready.
He'll drop to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. And it is caught. Touchdown, Texans. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Texans are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Point after up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game.
38. Dolphins 19.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean up.
Gordon loses the football. It's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Back now in Houston. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th.
Set, hut. 10 black. Set.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Looking to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
On the set.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Dolphins can't convert on fourth down. And the Texans take over an excellent field position.
On the double. Yellow, Lonnie. Here we set.
On the handoff, it's Pacheco. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
105 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on second and inches. Back to throw here. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. Fourth down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And that'll keep this a 19-point game. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trip.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time.
And the Texans are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Looking to put a drive together.
Ready.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
34-yard line.
Hey, check mega. Set, hut. Set.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down.
And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory down at the 33.
And he's got it down to the 28.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
2nd and 10.
Ready.
They're going to look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Derek Stingley picks it.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Ready. Black, 95. Ready.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends.